Hello, everyone. This is the Gospel Truth, and we are studying Revelation on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We do our studies in Revelation. We are already starting chapter 5. Today, I'm going to be reading from the book of Revelation, the Smart Guide to the Bible series. I draw my information from 3 different books. And I thought this was really a good explanation of what we're going to read and study today. So we are going to read Revelation 5, verses 1 through 5 today. Maybe a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're here to learn, right? All right, get yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a donut maybe, a cookie, whatever to make yourself comfortable. And let's get started on our studies. Let's get started. Revelation chapter 5. Chapter highlights: the 7-sealed scroll, the Lion of Judah, worship of the Lamb, praise from all creatures. I think as we're going along, breaking down Revelation, it starts to make sense and brings it together for us, and it doesn't seem so scary after all, does it? Revelation is a book of symbols. Under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, John recorded God's message using these symbols to make it easier for us to understand. Unfortunately, now we have the task of deciphering what is the meaning of these symbols. To do that, we look to the Old Testament book of the prophet Jeremiah. Now, this is really good to give us an understanding of documents. Jeremiah 32 explains the law for redemption of land. Its purpose was to help those in Israel who fell behind in their debts. Those who got behind lost their land, but were not without hope. They still had the right to buy their land back in the future. Even if they did not or could not buy their land, after a prescribed period of time, their heir or next of kin could buy it. In this way, their land remained in the family. On one occasion, God told Jeremiah that his cousin would ask him to redeem his land. His cousin had fallen in debt, lost his land, and had been sentenced to prison. It wasn't long before Jeremiah went to see his cousin in prison. There the cousin asked Jeremiah to buy his land and told him it was his right to redeem and possess it. Understanding that it was God's law, Jeremiah bought the land. But even this wasn't enough. Jeremiah had not yet met all the requirements of the law. When his cousin lost the land, 2 scrolls, contracts, containing terms for redeeming the land were drafted. One scroll became a public record and was displayed unsealed for all to read. The other was rolled up and sealed with 7 seals and placed in storage at the temple. It was brought out only when someone showed proof of their right to redeem the land. After this redeemer presented the necessary proof of ownership, the temple priest would retrieve the 7th sealed scroll from storage. He would then unseal the scroll and read it. If everything was in order, the redeemer would receive all ownership to the land. When God created all things, he gave earth to man, but Adam sinned and lost it to Satan. However, Adam is still a joint heir with Jesus, an adopted child of God. Jesus is a kinsman redeemer who can buy back the earth and mankind. In chapter 5, the church is now in heaven, and we are in that period of time between the rapture and tribulation period. The question is, who qualifies to redeem Adam's lost property? A very good question. And Hal Lindsey had something to say. Sealing a scroll was a common and important practice in biblical times. The wills of both Emperor Vespasian and Caesar Augustus, for example, were secured with 7 seals. For such a document, a scribe would produce a long roll of parchment and begin writing. After a period of writing, he would stop, roll the parchment enough to cover his words, and seal the scroll at that point with wax. Then he would resume writing, stop again, roll the scroll, and add another seal. By the time he was finished, he would have sealed the scroll 7 times. The scroll would be read a section at a time after each seal was opened. Now, this was groundwork for us getting into talking about these scrolls and who was worthy to open it. Revelation 5:1 and 2. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll inside and on the back, sealed with 7 seals. Okay, let me start that again. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my glasses today. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back, sealed with 7 seals. Then I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the scroll and loose its seals?" A loud voice gets people's attention. John is still in heaven, and beside God's throne at the opening of chapter 5, he sees a scroll in God's right hand that is sealed 7 times with writing on both sides. Whatever this scroll is, there is no doubt that it is important. Why would God reveal the scroll to his church? Could it be that he has the destiny of all mankind in his hands? Could it be that he is in charge of all that happens on the earth? We know that God did not allow the earth to be destroyed by the flood until Noah and his family were safely in the ark. We also know that God would not allow Sodom and Gomorrah to be destroyed by fire and brimstone until Lot and his family were safely out of the city. Could it be that God will not allow this scroll to be opened until his church is safely in heaven? Scrolls were made from strips of leather, animal skins, in John's day. They were very expensive and very valuable. In fact, they were so costly, the Hebrew scribes often wrote on both sides to save money. This scroll in God's right hand has writing on both sides. It's a very, very valuable document. Don't we have very valuable documents that we put in our safe? Or some people have a box at a bank that they put valuables in, and they want to make sure that it's going to be safe, and eventually others will find our papers after we're deceased on, any insurances that need to be collected upon, any savings, any the last wills, the letters to the family, whatever is in there. We want to keep it safe. And a lot of those are sealed, they're locked up, not to be opened until we pass away. John also saw a powerful angel. What made this angel appear to be so strong is not revealed, but he had the authority to speak in the presence of God. We do not know who this angel is, but because the name Gabriel means strength of God, some believe he is indeed the archangel Gabriel. Who is worthy to open the scroll and to loose its seals is a gripping question. Who could ever qualify as a redeemer for Adam in our fallen world? Who could ever qualify as a redeemer for Adam in our fallen world? I think you probably already know the answer to that. All right. In Revelation 5:3-5, the root of David. And no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look at it. So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll or to look at it. But one of the elders said to me, Do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its 7 seals. Don't cry, John. Don't cry. No one in heaven or earth, either living or dead, will be able to open the scroll and look inside. Obviously, John was heartbroken because he desired to know what the scroll contained. Here John is standing in heaven, and he's anxious to see what's on this scroll and what's going to be read, and no one can open it. How disappointing. He had a great love for all mankind and had hoped the scroll would provide the answer to his problems, but that was not to be. The message of the scroll would have to wait. Church members often hear Christians say there are no tears in heaven, but that's not wholly true. John wept much, and God can't wipe away tears in heaven unless there are tears in heaven. The tears of God's people will not cease to exist until the New Jerusalem comes out of heaven and God destroys death, sorrow, and crying. Suddenly, one of the 24 elders told John to stop crying. Someone worthy to open the scroll had been found. It is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David. These 2 Old Testament names of God remind us of the first and second coming of Jesus. Judah, one of the 12 sons of Israel, also called Jacob, was also the first leader of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. God promised the Messiah would come from the tribe whose symbol was a lion. Jesus, a descendant of the tribe of Judah, is the Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. At the end of the tribulation period, Jesus will return with the strength of a lion. Jesus is also the Root of David. God promised David that one of his descendants would be the Messiah. Jesus is a fulfillment of that prophecy. His earthly mother Mary, a descendant of David, Jesus came as a lamb for the first time. And Leon Morris says, John wept, and wept, his word means a noisy grief, a wailing, perhaps because he found it depressing that no one was found worthy for the task. More probably, his distress was connected with the contents of the book. He had been promised that he would see things that would happen. 4 verse 1. Would he, after all, fail to see the revelation? Would God's purpose not be worked out? When we get to heaven, it will not be because we are righteous or because we are worthy redeemers, but because we have been redeemed by the grace of God. Amen. All right, that's our study today. And on Wednesday, when we come back, we'll do Revelation 5, verse 6 through 10. Verse 6. 5, 6 through 10. So if you want to read that ahead of time, that would be awesome. And it's going to be the sacrifice, the lamb. Sacrifice the lamb. All right, I hope you've enjoyed that study today. I find I'm kind of anxious to discover what indeed is written on those scrolls. Okay, well, today, let's see, at 2 o'clock, it's 1:14 now, wow, we're going to leave soon. We have an appointment with our pain clinic. Time to get my pain meds refilled and evaluate my husband's situation. And it's not a bad appointment, but it's just another thing to do to break up my day. I got things to do in my house, but sometimes we have to stop and take care of ourselves too. All right, well, I have been working on things. I did get a hat made. Isn't that pretty? This is Mandela Ombre yarn by, I think it's by Premier Yarns. Let me grab it here. Oh, it's Lion Brand Mandela. It worked out so beautiful in my machine. It went through like butter. It was like, yeah, this is cool. So my Addy 22 pin is in the mail. I should receive that in a couple of days. And I'm so excited for that. And I'm so excited that I was given the opportunity to buy it at a really super good deal. All right, everyone, you go out. You make it a blessed day in the Lord. I have to get this one posted, and then we need to get out the door to go to our appointment soon. All right, thank you so much for your comments and your love. Lord willing, I'll be back on later today with another devotional. We'll see how time-wise goes today. But I will be back on, Lord willing, tomorrow with another great devotional for us. Take care for now. Bye.